You have a memory of your 5th birthday. Maybe the cake, maybe a gift. But go back further. Try to find your 1st birthday. There's nothing there. Not a blur, not a flicker, just a wall. And that wall sits at almost the exact same spot in every human brain on Earth. Scientists call it infantile amnesia. But the real answer is far stranger than simply forgetting. Your brain was working perfectly when you were 1 year old. It was recording sound, faces, warmth, fear. So the memories aren't missing because your brain failed. They're missing because your brain hadn't built the shelf to store them on yet. Here's the part that surprises most people. Psychologist Carol Peterson has spent decades studying children's earliest memories. Her research shows that kids can describe events from age 2 or 3 in vivid detail right after they happen. Ask them again a few years later. The memory is gone. It didn't fade slowly. It was overwritten by a brain that was still under construction. The structure responsible is called the hippocampus. Think of it as your brain's filing cabinet for long-term memory. In infancy, that filing cabinet is still being built. New neurons are flooding in at an astonishing rate, and every new neuron that arrives can bump an old file out of place. Neuroscientist Paul Franklin ran a study that confirmed this directly. His team found that boosting neuron growth in young mice erased memories they had just formed. More new brain cells meant faster forgetting. Your brain, in its earliest years, is rebuilding its own library so fast that nothing has time to stay on the shelf. But there's something else going on. Something more than biology. Language. Before you could speak in full sentences, you experienced the world. But you couldn't yet organize that experience into a story. Psychologist Catherine Nelson proposed that autobiographical memory depends on narrative structure. You need language to turn a moment into something you can retrieve later. A baby feels everything. A baby can store almost none of it as a memory with a beginning, middle, and end. So the wall in your mind isn't a flaw. It's a byproduct of growth happening too fast to leave a paper trail. Here's the strange twist. Even though you can't remember your first 2 years, those years still shaped you. The attachment style you carry into relationships. The way your nervous system responds to comfort or stress. The baseline sense of whether the world feels safe. All of it was built during the exact years you can't recall. You are fluent in a language you don't remember learning. You trust or distrust people based on patterns set before you could form a single retrievable image. The most formative period of your life is the one act your conscious mind was never invited to watch. Think about what that means. Somewhere in your body right now, there's a version of you shaped by a hand you can't picture, a voice you can't quite place, a room you'll never see again in your mind. Not gone, just filed somewhere your hippocampus never learned to open. And here's the modern mirror. You do something similar every single night. Deep sleep clears out short-term clutter, so your brain has room for what actually matters. Dreams you have at 3 a.m. are usually gone by breakfast. Not because they didn't happen, but because your brain decided they weren't worth keeping on the shelf. Your 1-year-old brain was doing the same thing on a much larger scale, clearing space, prioritizing survival and language and movement over storing a memory of Tuesday afternoon. So next time someone shows you a photo of yourself as a baby and says, "You probably don't remember this," they're right. But not because nothing happened, because something enormous was happening. Too enormous, too fast, for memory to keep up. You didn't lose those years. You simply became them before you were able to watch it happen.